Hello everybody. I'm going to do a quick review on the packet for lesson 5.1. We are on page 4, about halfway down the page where it says number 1. I'm not starting at the top of the page because we did that stuff yesterday, so you can do that part on your own. So starting with number 1, again halfway down the page, we are going to identify the type of angles using our vocabulary words. Okay, and then find their relationship, meaning are they congruent or do they add to 180? And then we're going to find the value of x after finding our equation. So, what we have, okay, there we go. We have two angles. I have this angle and this angle. They are both obtuse, so we know they are congruent, so you can put that here for their relationship. Congruent or the same. And I need to know the type of angles. What's the other vocab word that we call this? Those are corresponding. Okay, so our equation, if they're the same, is that they're equal. So the first one, which is this one here, is x plus 80, and it has to equal the other one, so equals the other one, which is 5x. So you just set both of those equal to each other. And now I can solve for x. So a review on solving equations. When you have x's on both sides, we want to get all the x's together. So I'm going to undo this x here, move it to the other side. Okay. These x's canceled each other out. I'm left with 80 equals 5x minus 1x is 4x. And to solve for x, I'm trying to get x by itself, so I need to undo this multiplication using division. Get rid of the 4, do it to both sides. 80 divided by 4 is 20. So 20 equals x. Okay. And just so you're aware, as we get through these are not drawn to scale. So if you see something that doesn't make sense, don't worry about it, just make sure the math works. All right, number 2. Okay, what type of angles do we have here? Let's see, this one looks acute and acute. They're both acute, so we know they are the same. They're congruent. And our vocabulary word there is alternate interior. Those are alternate interior. So when I set up my equation, I'm going to set this one equal to this one. So 2x minus 10 equals 65 minus x. I just set them both equal to each other. Okay, so I have x's on both sides, so you can move them either way you want. I'm going to undo this negative x on the right. I'm going to do the opposite and add it to get rid of it. And then I'll add the 1x to the other side as well. Okay, those are gone. 2x and one more x is 3x. I still have negative 10 here and a positive 65 on the right. Okay, now I just want to get everything away from x, which means I'm going to add 10 to both sides. That gets rid of the 10. We have 3x equals 65 and 10 is 75. And get x by itself by dividing by 3. So x is 25. Notice I'm not putting a degree mark on that because if you look at the original picture, it already has the degree sign there. I don't need it. X is not really a degree. X is just a number that I'm subtracting from 65 to get my degrees. Okay, number 3, I'm going to let you do that one on your own. So you can pause the video or do it later, whatever. It needs to be done by the time we turn them in. Let's look at number 4. So make sure you're on number 4, please. All right, we have two angles. This time, one is small, the other one's big, right? One's acute, one's obtuse. So they are not congruent. And if they're not congruent, then they're going to add to 180. And I told you that was it. If they're not congruent, they're going to add to 180. So what can I give this name? What can we label this as a type of angles? There's a couple of names you can use. If you look, they're both on the inside of the parallel lines. These are parallel lines. They're on the inside of the parallel lines and yet on the same side as the transversal. So we could call them same side interior, or you could call them supplementary. Either way is fine. Both of those add up to 180. So what I want to do is I want to take one angle plus the other angle equals 180. So here I am writing, and I will color code it for you. Let's call the first angle 3x minus 10. Okay, and now this is my adding the other angle. I'm going to add that to, I'm going to use this one in blue, okay? So this one is 5x plus 30. So see, when I add those up, I added them right here, and then they're going to equal 180 degrees because that's what my rule says. Okay, so now I can solve this equation. All right, I have a whole bunch of stuff going on the left-hand side, which means I need to combine my like terms because they're on the same side. All right, I can combine the variables, I can combine the constants here. Okay, so 3x and 5x is 8x, and we have negative 10 and positive 30 is plus 20. Okay, and that equals 180 over here. So we've combined all our like terms. We only have x's on the left, so we just need to get rid of this 20. So we have 8x left equaling 160. To finish it off, divide by 8 to get x by itself, and x will equal 160 divided by 8, which is 20. Okay, so let's see. We'll do one more like that, and then I'll let you do the number 6 on your own. Let's do 5 together. Okay, two angles. One is big, obtuse. One is small or acute. So they're not going to be the same. So their relationship, if they're not the same, is that they add to 180. And there's no real word we can give this other than the word supplementary, because that means they add to 180. So let's just take these two angles. I'll color code again here. Let's take this angle, which is 3x plus 15. We're going to add it because they add to 180. We're going to add it to this angle, which is 2x. And again, when I add them, they're going to equal 180. Okay, so we're going to solve this equation. I have a couple things on the right. I have a 3x and a 2x that I can combine. When I combine them, I get 5x. I still have that plus 15, and that will equal 180. If we subtract 15 from both sides, I get 5x equaling 165, and then divide by 5 to get x equals 165 divided by 5, or 33. Okay. You're going to try number 6 on your own. So pause the video, see if you can come up with that. All right, number 7. Find the values of x and y and put a box around your answer. Okay. Well, let's see. What do we know? Do we know any angles that are the same here? Well, we know the measure of this obtuse angle is 118. Do I have any other obtuse angles, x or y? Yeah, x is obtuse, so x must equal 118. Okay, and it already has the degree mark here. Again, that's why I'm not putting the degree sign. And we know that, we didn't say to justify our answer, but we know that because they are alternate interior angles. It didn't say to do this, but I'm doing it for you. Okay, alternate interior with that 118 angle. So we have x is this, And y is this teeny little acute angle here, so obviously y plus the 118 must equal 180. So if I subtract the 118, I will get what y equals. All right, so 180 minus 118 is 62. All right, let's do number 8. Any of them the same as 67? That one is acute, and y and x both look to be obtuse. So really, we know x is the same as y. Well, you know that any acute angle plus any obtuse angle equals 180 degrees. So our acute angle, which is 67, plus either one, angle y or x, I'll use y, equals 180. Because together they have to add to 180. So if we subtract 67 from both sides, I get that y equals 113 degrees. And if y equals 113, since x equals y, then x is the same. Okay. Flip it over. We're going to try number 9. This is the one you'll notice is kind of way out of proportion. It's definitely not drawn to scale, so just bear with me here. Okay, we know this angle is 2x minus 30, and it's obtuse. Do you see another obtuse angle? I do. I think y is obtuse. Therefore, they're the same, right? They're the same, so I can set them equal. Y is the same as this one, 2y minus 30. All right, I can solve for y. Let's get the y's all by themselves. We need to get this one away from the constant, so I'm undoing the 2y. 1y minus 2y is a negative 1y equals negative 30. Well, if negative 1y is negative 30, if we divide by negative 1, positive y will equal positive 30. So if we know y, we can find x, because x is just a teeny little angle. So x plus y has to equal 180. And we know y is 30. And again, this is where that whole drawing the scale doesn't work, because we know y is obtuse and 30 is not obtuse. But just bear with me. We know y is 30. So x plus 30 has to equal 180. So if we subtract 30, we find that x is 150. Okay? And this is the only reason I don't like this sheet, is because they tell me that this teeny little angle is 150 while the big angle is 30. It doesn't make any sense, but that's how it works out, so we're going to use it. All right, I want you to try number 10 on your own, and then we're going to do 11 together. So pause the video, try number 10. And number 11, this looks more complicated than it really has to be. Do you see the two parallel lines here? It's actually cut by two different transversals, but I only need the one of them, okay? I'm only going to draw the parallel lines with this transversal going that way. I'm going to not draw the other one. So let's draw in our angles. See how 2 is this inside angle right there. 3 is an inside angle over here. 1 is an outside angle below. And then I know the measure of this one over here is 115 degrees. So make that look a little easier to read. All right, if you know 115 is this, well then which one's easy? It's an acute angle. Nope, obtuse angle. I drew that wrong. Hold on. There we go. Fix that. Change where your 115 is. I did that wrong. 115 is in the inside. Okay, so you know 115 is this big angle, and you know you have other big angles. I have this big angle, and I have that big angle. All right, so 2 and 1 are both 115 degrees. Remember, M stands for measure. What's the measure of angle 1? What's the measure of angle 2? So 115 degrees for both of them. And I guess it doesn't say that we have to give a reason, so let's just do it. We do it. All right, so then angle 3 is a little angle. Well, we know that the 115 plus the other one has to equal 180. So if I subtract 115 from both sides, I get x to be 65 degrees. All right, you can skip the rest of that packet. We don't know how to do the rest yet, and just follow Google Classroom for the rest of the directions for today.